Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. This week, I'm back at the old Chapel Hill Cemetery on the campus of the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. In a couple of previous videos from this cemetery, I visited the grave of big band leader Kay Kaiser and the man who took us on the road with CBS News, Charles Kuralt. This week, I've returned to this historic cemetery to visit the final resting place of the man who for 36 years was the head basketball coach for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, the legendary Coach Dean Smith. Dean Edward Smith was born on February 28, 1931 in Emporia, Kansas. His father was the head basketball coach at Emporia High School and led that team to the 1934 Kansas State Championship. So young Dean developed an interest in sports at an early age, but his interest ranged beyond basketball. In addition to playing basketball in high school, he also played quarterback for the football team and catcher for the baseball team. After graduating from high school, Dean attended the University of Kansas, where he majored in mathematics. At Kansas, he played basketball and baseball for the Jayhawks. During his time on the Jayhawk basketball team, he played for the legendary Coach Phog Allen and was part of the 1952 team that won the national championship. After graduating from college, Dean stayed at Kansas and began his coaching career as an assistant coach for the Jayhawk basketball team. Then in 1954, Dean was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force and stationed in Germany, where he played on a basketball team that won the Air Force European Championship. He would later become the head baseball and golf coach at the United States Air Force Academy. In 1958, Dean moved east and joined the staff of Coach Frank McGuire at the University of North Carolina. He served as an assistant for McGuire until 1961, when Coach McGuire was forced to resign because of a recruiting scandal, which resulted in the Tar Heels being placed on probation. On the day that Coach McGuire resigned, Dean was waiting in an adjacent office. The university president called him into his office and asked him, point blank, if he wanted to be the head basketball coach at the University of North Carolina. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Dean Smith was only 30 years old when he accepted the head coaching job at North Carolina. The university president told him when he offered him the job that wins and losses didn't matter, as much as running a clean program and representing the university well. I think Coach Smith accomplished that and a whole lot more. In addition to the recruiting scandal that Dean inherited from Coach McGuire, one of the Tar Heel players was also named in a national point shaving scandal. As a result, in Dean's first year as head coach, the university reduced their basketball schedule and played only 17 games. Coach Smith would have an 8-9 record. This would be the only losing season that Coach Dean Smith would have during his Hall of Fame career. From then on, Coach Smith's teams never finished worse than tied for third in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And for 21 of those years, they either finished first or second in the conference. Coach Smith served as the Tar Heels head coach from 1961 through 1997. During that time, he led the Tar Heels to the 1982 and 1993 NCAA National Championships. His teams won 13 ACC Tournament Championships and 17 ACC Regular Season Championships. He also coached the United States team to the gold medal in the 1976 Olympic Games. He also coached 26 All-Americans at North Carolina, including such players as Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Phil Ford, Larry Brown, and Bob McAdoo, just to name a few. Coach Smith was inducted into the National Basketball Hall of Fame in 1983. He retired from coaching following the 1997 season and was inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame in 2006. And the Tar Heels played their home games at the Dean E. Smith Center on the campus of the University of North Carolina. In retirement, Coach Smith remained one of the most popular figures not only in Chapel Hill, but in all of college basketball. Coach Smith passed away at the age of 83 on February the 7th, 2015, and following a private funeral service, he was laid to rest here in the old Chapel Hill Cemetery. A public memorial service was held a few days later at the Dean E. Smith Center, just a few miles away. A few weeks after his death, it was revealed that in his will, Coach Smith directed that each of the lettermen that had played for him during his 36-year career would receive a $200 check with a simple note stating, "Enjoy a dinner out. Compliments of Coach Smith." It was estimated that about 180 former players received those checks and that simple note. It's just one more example of why Coach Smith was so beloved by his players and Tar Heel fans everywhere. Well, this wraps up my visit to the old Chapel Hill Cemetery and the final resting place of legendary Coach Dean Smith. If you remember Coach Smith or have a favorite Tar Heel memory, I hope you'll share your memories with us in the comments. Now, until next time, I just want to remind you, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everybody.